Hello, good evening, and welcome back. We've had a little break after holidays. When I say we've had a little break, I mean we had a little break playing a full game of Oathsworn Into the Deep, a full campaign. It was glorious. It was absolutely glorious. I feel so jazzed about that game now, having finished it, and I didn't even do the best bit, which is the story bit, and I really want to go back and do the story now, so I'm going to try and convince my friend Koki to play that with me, but I'm going to make sure everything's painted before I do that. Yeah, so that was a fantastic experience. My holiday was just all about playing Oathsworn, and I loved it. But I got excited about playing this game again during that Oathsworn period. I remember thinking back to the Lacerda week, and I remember thinking, that one stuck with me. Weather Machine, not so much. It's good. I think I like the theme more, maybe. I don't know, this one has just stuck with me as one that I really, really want to try and master. I'm not sure it's good. Like, I think it's good. I think it's great. But at the same time, is it? It's a weird one. I still really struggled with the learning of this game. It's just one of the hardest. Anyway, I've got On Mars and Lisboa sitting there ready to do playthroughs on the channel. But I've also got a couple of other ones that we're going to do. So we've got Men Nefer, which is sitting just here, that I need to learn. I wouldn't mind trying Nucleum again. And then I've also got a game called Emberleaf. And then another one I've got is Endeavour Deep Sea, both of which have been on my list for a little while to try. So yeah, I think we'll find a way to play some of those over the next little while. I spoke at the end of my Oathsworn playthrough about all the cool games I've got. There's always just an amazing selection of games for me to play at any given moment. And I think the determining factor for me is always just going to be what type of game I feel like at the moment. And sometimes that's a campaign game, sometimes it's a Grim Coven, an Oathsworn, a Kingdom Death, sometimes it's a heavy Euro, like this one, or some of the other ones that I've just listed, and sometimes it's it's a lighter, more quick-playing game, such as Origin Story or Heroes of the Sanctum, similar to that. It's great. We're in a golden age of board gaming. I love it. We're back playing Inventions, Evolution of Ideas. Here is our board set up, and here is the main map. This is a cool game. It's an expansive game, and I will be doing my best with this game to remember all of the very little nuances that exist. This will probably be on the table for a little while, I think. I think I want to get my head around this a little bit. So we're going to deal out these Stage B milestones. Should have a zoom set up. My face is in the way, so I'll take the zoom off. So orange has mining, yellow has cotton, blue has agriculture, and we have copper smelting. So to start the game, I set up one there, he sets up one there, and he sets up one there. Excellent, so that bit's done. The next step, yeah, exactly, Milo. It is too good, the amount of games that we have. But it's nice. It's nice to play a wide variety of games and always be, engaged. I've said a number of times on the channel that I really like the ritual of learning a game, of setting up a game, of unpacking it and unboxing it. To me, that's a really enjoyable experience. And so, I cherish both games that I love and have played many times, as well as that wonderful experience of learning a new game for the very first time. So here is my 4 things that we will score victory points at the end of the game. So we have, we can't really see that, so we'll do this instead. These will here. Yep, okay, so we have people in 2, 4, 5 and 6, 2, 4, 5 and 7 for most people. So this one's interesting. 1, 2, 4, and 6. Okay, so we've got some consistencies of 2 and 4 and 6 here. So that's good. And then have 2 different inventions from each of the different colours. So one, yep, okay, cool. I would assume that that one is not including age 1 inventions, because if it is, that is ridiculous. It does include age 1. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, well that's easy enough to go for. Let's deal out these. So I will have a star map and a trader. And this guy is going to have domestication dog and bread. Neither of those will get used. Okay, now he will get cotton, which is silk. Kronos has mining, other way around, so he gets Proto City. And we have plumbing, which is copper smelting. So our plumbing goes there. These ones go away. The rest of the board, so we're going to shuffle this. Wrong button, Deno. This one, excellent. So I don't put a thing here or here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No wheel. That's going to make transportation hard in this universe. Yeah, funny. Cool. So 1, 2, 3. So what I'd like to go for here. Control of fire needs 2 people. Copper smelting. Oh, I already have copper smelting. But you need an extra worker. Or we could go for mathematics. I think we'll go for the sundial. And this is feeding into this. So I've already got 2 greens. So I'd like to get 2 browns. So I'm going to take sundial and see if we can create those. Excellent. All right, so that's the very early preliminary setup done. So now we have to do what's called the Stone Age round. So this is, or this, yeah, setup round, I think it's called. Okay. So the first thing that we do is we use Kronos, and he's going to start by placing out his game setup, blah, 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 blah. Excellent. Kronos takes his starting idea and replaces the idea with the lowest numbered region matching the same specialty. 1, 2, 3. So he's going to replace that one there with silk. He'll then take 2 people and put them on this space. He doesn't get any benefit for doing that, but it does mean he's going to score more points when he replenishes that, which is very annoying. So I think I would like to go for a white 1 so that I can continue my quest here. So let's go for this influence one. Let's look at the numbers actually. Yeah, so 2 was the number consistent one, yeah. Okay, so let's go board game. You need stone, bone, and tools, which I have. So I'm going to place that one there. That's going to cost me 2 of my scholars. But as a reward for that, I get to place one of my scholars. I get to place a guy into my scholars anyway. So that's mine. He gets one here, and he's going to start in this region. I get one there. And then I take this and place this here. He takes that and places that there. All right, so Hephaestus, he will take the next matching one around. So I think he's going to take this tanned leather here in zone 7 because that matches the color. Which is unfortunate because he's also going to get 2. and he will place out one of his tokens here, and he'll place one worker in here, and there's Hephaestus. Choose a colour, use the dedicated board, place a citizen, takes his starting idea, places it in the next available region after the Kronos idea. Is that the right one? Or would the next available region be this one? Or would it be that one there? I think it will be that one actually. It'll be next available region. So he's actually going to do that. And he's going to do that, which is 1. And he's going to do that, that. This guy's not going to exist, and that's going to go there. So that is the next available region. Yep. So tanned leather will remain there. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that is the stone round setup all done. 2, 4. So this is 4, isn't it? 2, 3, 4. Okay, at least I can move there easily. Excellent, that's the Stone Age setup round, and I think that means we're ready to go. So, if you didn't follow along on my previous playthrough of this game, I will do a very, very brief explanation of what this game is about. So this game is quite outrageous. It is representative of civilizations and the evolution of those civilizations through the ages, and how a lot of those evolutionary leaps came from ideas. And so the core loop of the game is all about ideas. So you present an idea at this location here, this one, and then you can invent an idea, and these are worker placement actions with a twist. You can then invent that. So you can invent someone else's idea that they've presented. And this is where the game gets really quite dynamic, because you can invent your own idea and then you can present it to the world, or someone else can invent it and someone else can present it to the world, and other people can even innovate on that idea. And that's what these 4 locations are: present, invent, innovate, share with the world. Each of those things is related to these ideas, which are the cards that represent those things. But the game also has this world map, where we're going to be looking for area majority, gaining influence, and we're going to be looking to move around the world map as well. And then we're also dealing with these tiles here, which are called milestone tiles. And so the milestone tiles represent the big ticket ideas, the ones that really changed society. And so these represent how advanced your civilization is overall. So as it stands right now, we're in era 2. Kind of. I'll do my best to not invent social media, but actually let's check what the major ones are. Solar cells, artificial intelligence and computer. I'm sure nothing could go wrong in inventing those. I wonder what some of the stage 6 ideas are. I haven't really looked at them either. We've got solar sail, internet, machine learning, quantum computing, robots, reusable rockets, satellites. So totally fine. All of those things will be totally fine. But yeah, the other actions on the board interact with either the world map or with these milestone tiles, and using them you can send diplomats to them, which allows you to take other actions. It's a really cleverly designed game that requires you to think around how to get things done. And what I mean by that is, so I can take one of my pillars and place it on this action, and I can invent a machine. And that's great. I'm allowed to do that. That's no problems. But sometimes you could instead go, well, I'm going to send a guy to a diplomat, and that diplomat will let me present an idea. And when I present an idea, I can go to a location like this one that then lets me invent an idea. So I get to do 3 actions instead of 1 action. And so that's kind of the crux of the game. How do I maximize each turn to be the most efficient and effective turn, basically. So it's quite a, yeah, it's quite a crazy game to try and wrap your head around. So yeah. Okay, so it is going to be, yeah, so now we've got to think about what happens. So the very first round of the game, which is this one here, is called the something age. I don't remember what it is. It's like the Stone Age, then the Bronze Age. I think this is called the Bronze Age, isn't it? But anyway, in the Bronze Age, we get one action and we use our pillar that is our main pillar. It's called an epoch pillar, which is your bigger pillar. And this little epoch pillar doesn't ever come off the board. It will only move locations. So there's some restrictions around where you place your pillars. So this decision needs to be considered quite carefully. However, first we're going to do our two robotic opponents. So we have two opponents. We have Kronos, who is the Titan of Time, by the way, and Hephaestus, who is the Titan of the Forge, which is cool, and I love that fact. So Kronos is very simple. He just moves to the next location and then he will follow this sequence of events. So it is either present an idea. He can't do that. Invent something. So if he invents something right here, which he is about to do, I should say, then that's what he does. So we're going to invent he's going to invent, I should say, a proto-city. So he's moved to this location, this guy's presented the idea, and he's now going to invent it because he has access to mining. The bots cheat a little bit. Most of the time you can only invent something if you meet the prerequisite. The prerequisite being one of these milestone tiles. So for example, everyone has access to these ones: stone and bone tools, origin of language, control of fire, transportation. So all of these ideas can be invented by anyone. Not these two, because these ones actually are removed from the board. But this one can be invented by anyone. However, this idea can only be invented by someone who has access to cotton. I don't have access to cotton. That is owned by Kronos. So for me to be able to invent this idea, I would need to send someone here as a diplomat before I can actually do that. So there's a lot of little interlocking mechanisms in this game. I love it. It gives me so many heart palpitations to try and figure out the best course of action, but it is a really genuinely fascinating game. So that's all Kronos does. Now when he invents something, very simply, he will take a tile that matches that number and that color of the invention and place it on his board. He doesn't do that if he shares. He doesn't do that if he innovates. He will only take a tile if he invents or if he shares with the world. So that's easy. So it's now my turn. There is a turn order here. It goes yellow, purple, orange. Yellow is Kronos, red is, orange is Hephaestus. Okay. So I think I see the course of action that I would like to take, but I'm not sure I have the strength, Frodo. Do I have the strength, Mr. Frodo? Yes. So generally, this game is it's a victory points game. They're called ingenuity points in this, as Vital Lacerda likes naming his victory points different things. And it's a race. And the only way to really score victory points is to present ideas. You also need to be doing these things here for big victory points at the end, but the main way to score victory points throughout the game is presenting ideas. So my approach in this game, because I'm trying to win, is to present some ideas. Okay, so I'm going to do that by... Now the other option I could, so I've got a couple of options here. I could move on the world map, which would actually allow me to present an idea using this action here. And again, this is all about how can I do actions in the most efficient way. So let's say, hypothetically, I was to place my epoch pillar here on this action. This is a world map action. I gain one white tile, which is good. I move a guy on the world map, and then if I have a chain icon, I can take a chain action. You start with one chain icon. So I could chain into flipping a tile. Or I could just go here and present an idea. But if I was to chain, move this guy here into this location, that also lets me present an idea and grab a sage, and that idea could go here, which would then let me present a second idea. So it's a very interlinked game, but I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to place my epoch pillar down here on the world map movement action. So I get to take a white tile. Each of these tiles, let's move this. So the tiles all have passive abilities. There's the blue tiles, we call the economy tiles. These are abilities that you can activate each round. The white tiles are passive ongoing benefits that you get for the rest of the game once they're built. The brown tiles are powerful one-off things that let you do extra actions. So there's also wealth tiles which you can get to score end game points. Alright, then you have this wonderful player aid which tells you what each of these tiles do. So I'm going to try something different. So that's military. When you gain influence, you automatically have a majority. That I like, especially if I combine it with propaganda. So let's do military. We're going to gain military the tile, and that goes down the bottom here. If you thought that that was all of the rules of the game, you're wrong, because you also have to build stuff on your board which has more rules. How exciting is that? But yeah, so we've done the first part, which is gain a white tile. Then we're going to move a guy. He's going to move from this space down to this space. So I've moved into zone 1. When you move there, you can, if you have a chain action, which I do, take a sage. I'm spending my chain action to flip this, and that allows me to present an idea. So we take this action. Present an idea, I take one idea from my board, which is this one, and I can place it anywhere on the board that I want. And I'm going to present plumbing up here onto this one. So that requires me to spend a person from my board. These guys are called artisans, merchants, thinker, scholar for economy, cultural, and something else. I don't know. I've got no idea. For me, they're brown guys, white guys, and blue guys. That's all I've got. So this one requires me to take a brown guy and place him on this tile here. I then get to take the reward on that tile. Do you want to know what that reward is? It's present another idea. So I'm going to present another idea down here. That also requires a brown guy. I'm going to use this guy. He's a scholar. He's a wild. And that gains me an influence. So I've now presented 1, 2, 3 ideas on the board. All 3 of those, if they're invented and shared with the world, will gain me victory points at a baseline. I might even get more out of that. So that's good. It's good news week. Okay, so that is the end of my turn. I get my chain action back. You get more chain actions as you move up the influence track. So that's it. That was my Bronze Age. So we're going to do Hephaestus. So Hephaestus would also like to present an idea. So he's going to move to the next available location, which is this one. And he's going to present, oh, I need to do this and this. So he's going to present the leftmost idea on this board. He's going to present coins. And he's going to immediately put a worker here. So that idea has been presented to the world. If he had a chain action available on his little space here, which he doesn't, it's this one, he would chain into the next action because he has one chain action, but he does not because he is a scumbag. Now presenting him, he's fine. We like Hephaestus. So when he does a chain, present an idea, he doesn't get any other benefit. Perfect. That's it. That's the first era done. So Kronos, the other Kronos, moves to this location here, and we will do all of these actions. So the first thing that happens He moves across the board and he takes this and he scores 4 victory points because he sucks. Then we would gain a plus or minus on influence and we would change turn order and nothing else happens in this first age. That's it. Okay, now this guy, he's going to move across 1 space and again, he's going to either present an idea or invent something. He's going to invent that. You require copper smelting. The bots cheat because copper smelting is on the board. Oh, should I have done that in the opposite way? Yes, I should have. We're going to do that because the bots cheat. So he can't do anything with that idea whatsoever. So instead, he's going to move to here and he's going to present glass. I mean, maybe I would have been better off letting him invent it, but I want to invent it. Leave my toys alone. Yeah, it's done. It's fine. And that's it. So when he shares an idea, presents an idea, that's all he gets. He gets nothing else. Our turn. Oh, what? I have to put his pillar here. So our turn. So the only rules for our placement of our next pillar is that it can't be in the same row as our existing pillar, which is a shame. All right, so is this the time for me to do a Eureka action? I could innovate up there, which would let me chain into a Eureka. Okay. What I really need at the moment is to get some peeps. Some peeps on my board. So I could return my specialist, which would get me 2 back. Not that interesting. Innovating might be the way to go here. So if I was to innovate, I can only innovate on this guy up there, the Proto City. That's in Zone 4, and I do want to win Zone 4 for a lot of my things. So, yeah, I think I'm going to innovate. So I'm going to take one of my things and I'm going to place it here. Hang on a second, is there a better way to do that? No, because I've only got 1 chain action, don't I? Yeah. Yeah, I think it's safest to just do that action for now, because there's no other innovates. Okay, cool. So I'm taking the innovate action. So the first thing I have to do is I have to place a matching specialist onto the thing that I'm innovating, which is this one here, because that's the only one that's been invented on the board. So I'm innovating on this location. As a reward for that, first of all, I get a matching worker back into my, I can't remember what that area is called. And then if I have a chain action, I can take the chain action on that. I do have a chain action, and the chain action on that, spend that, is to do a Eureka. Eureka! So when we do a Eureka, you choose one of these new tiles, these new milestone tiles. Now we're going to choose mathematics, because mathematics is the one that we want. Transportation is going to slide off, these will slide down, this will go here, and I have now become a mathematics expert, which I already was really. But having access to mathematics now means that I can invent the sundial. It also means that the other guys can invent the sundial as well, but hopefully they won't do that. So now, as a reward for doing that, I move to the next era, and that lets me take one of these other actions. So I can gain an influence, or I can gain another innovate action. Can't innovate because there's no other invented things. Or I can gain a worker out on a board space. So I'm going to take a worker out on a board space. Now I want to have control of 1, 2, 4, and 6. So maybe we'll go for 6. Actually, we'll go 1. So I'll place this guy here. Actually, I don't need to, because when that gets invented, I'll have that. Same for there. So yeah, I'll go 6. Okay. So I've spent my chain action. That Eureka action has sent me there. There's nothing else I can do. So that is the end of my turn. So we'll go on to Hephaestus's first turn of this new era. And we're going to take and innovate. Okay, so he can't innovate. So he's going to invent. He's going to invent mathematics. You dickhead. You absolute Sputnik. Yeah, there's nothing he can innovate on, because nothing's invented. Okay, so he moves 1 space to here, and he's going to invent my sundial. It's good for us, but when he invents, he takes a brown tile that matches this, so he's going to take brown 6. That's going to go there, and I'm pretty sure that's all he does. Confirming. Hephaestus invent, move it. Hephaestus' citizens, he needs 1 to invent. He takes a progress tile from the display matching the type of idea that he invented and the region number. Okay. So Kronos moves along now. Just going to move this across because we're spending a little bit more time over this side. Still no good. Harder than it looks, getting the camera right. Okay, so Kronos is going to go next. So Kronos, he just moves to the next region along, which is region number 1, and Kronos is also going to invent plumbing because of copper smelting. Wrong person, yellow. So that's bad. Both of those inventions are ones that I wanted to invent, but the bots have beaten me to it. I'm still going to score points for them, but the bots, yeah, are scumbags. So that is a brown 1 that Kronos gets. Okay. So now, what do I want to do? So I could do a move action, or I could present an idea. So if I was to present an idea, there would be a couple of ways to do that. I could also innovate on that idea. I can't innovate on that idea. Okay, so I think I want to invent. How am I going to invent? There's no actions here that let me do it. There's also no actions there that let me do it. I can't take an invention action here. So I will have to, yeah, I was going to invent board games. That would have been cool. Nope, so that's that. Nope, so there's no cheap inventions. No cheap way to invent. Okay, so if I share, I could share do I call specialists home? Call a specialist home, I could share that idea. That's not a chain action. That would get me a tile. That would get me a worker for the next round. And it would let me chain action, which could be a move, but that won't let me. Yep. So I can take that action. That's kind of a freebie there. Origin of language gets me a scholar. Gets me 2 scholars, actually. welcome to this game. It's a fascinating game. So I think what I'm going to do, I really want to invent something, but I don't see any way to do that at this moment in time. So I'm going to take the next best thing, which is get as many scholars as I can. So I'm going to take an economy tile, which is going to be this one here. That's going to be that blue one there. Then I get to take a guy back from home. I'm going to take this guy back from home. So he comes back into the matching region. So that's going to be a plumber in there. And then further to that, I can take a chain action for one of my inventions. So I can do a move action, or I can do a send a diplomat action. If I was to do a move action, that would normally be my preference, but when you move, you need to have a chain action to be able to do the thing, and I've only got one chain action at the moment. So we'll chain into sending a diplomat. So I will take this guy and place him here. You can choose anyone when you're sending a diplomat. And I will go for, so if I was to go mathematics, I could then share an idea. Present an idea. Share an idea. And the idea that I could share could be the sundial. I don't mind that option, because then I would be able to take a influence action. Ooh, and how could I get an influence action? I can't move to the next era. I don't have an influence action on my board. There's no influence actions on here. So do I want to... Yeah, I'm definitely sending a diplomat as my chain action on here. Where's that person want to go? So I can't do this one. This one gets me a scholar. These ones get me the other guys. This gets me another guy on the world map. This one gets me a tile. Another tile might not be too bad, actually. So do I take the other influence tile and then maybe put them out on the board? Yeah, that could work. Because this one, if this one gets taken by someone else, there's only 2 of each tile, so that one would be gone. He's already taken it, so there would be no tile taken from him. And that one lets you do influence actions for 1 less cost. Is that right? 4. Propaganda. When you gain influence, you have a discount of 1 citizen. Yep. That would be nice given the fact that I've leaned into military and propaganda. Is that the one I want? Stone and bone tools. Alright, I'll take that one. I think that's just the easiest one. So yes, I'm not going to share an idea or share an idea. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. I'm instead going to take this one here and this one here. Done. So I could have shared the idea, but yeah, was not worth it to me at this point in time. Okay, we'll see. We'll see if that was the right decision. Oh, where did he go? Oh, he went to here. Oh, cool. I've actually got an extra influence. All right, so Hephaestus' next action. He can't do that action, so he is going to do a move around the world action, which is going to get me another influence. I've got 2 chain actions. That's so good. Oh, we're on here. Come on. Maybe. Okay, so he's going to move around the world. So he moves to the next spot. Boom. When he moves, he takes the sage and he flips this over. and he will then place out a worker in that space. Travel, yeah, and he gains a progress tile, so that will be a brown 7. Done. And then if he has a chain action, he moves to the next region. No, he does the next action. So the next action is a Eureka. Okay, so Eureka, send his milestone to the common display. So that one goes there. That's good for us. These guys come back as scholars, so we want that. He'll take the rightmost, which is iron. He'll place a worker out on it, and then he will move here to move to the top of the turn order display. I think. Ignore the benefit. He gains influence points, so he's going to gain 1, 2, 3 from that. Yep. So I'm just trying to see what he does if he choose the rightmost available space on the era indicated by the milestone. Perfect, so he actually just chooses that, but it says ignore the benefit, so he doesn't change the turn order. Fine. Cool. So that's been beneficial for us. We've picked up a couple of influence points out of that. Kronos, he moves to here. He's going to invent my board game. He's been a really annoying guy, inventing all the things that I want. That's going to get him a white 2 tile. And that's it for him. So our action, so we can only go in this or this. So I want to do chain actions. I also want to do an action that gains me a tile. So if I call this guy back, I can do this action. Which would then let me present an idea to the world, which could be the sundial. Alternatively, I could innovate the sundial, which would allow me to take that action, which would allow me to do that. So how can I innovate the sundial? So I think there's no movement action on here. The only one that I can take is presenting an idea. But there is an invent, but that doesn't help me. Can't move to the next era, so that's fine. So do I just, whatever I do, I need to get presenting an idea. There's no idea spaces available to present in. There is some available to innovate in though. So yeah, I want to innovate into sharing. Oh, this game's got me hooked. Hooked and cooked. Okay, so what I want to do, the action that I want to take, is this one. So that one lets me pull a guy back from the world and put him into one of my zones. Doing that then lets me take a chain action, which would let me do a movement or a diplomat action, which would then let me do that or this. Okay, I think I'm overcomplicating it. I think the best thing that I can do right now is take the wealth tile that maximizes my opportunity for scoring and creates the most beneficial next turn. And so I think if I share the proto city, no, if I share the board game, yeah. So I'm just going to take a share action. I think I'm trying to be maybe a little bit too tricky. No, okay, let's do this. This is actually possibly better. I'm going to bring this guy back from mathematics. He comes back as a scholar. And I then get to take that action, which lets me share. And I will share. I don't need to share board games, so I will share plumbing. No, I'm going to share here. I'm going to share the sundial. Make up your mind, Deno. No, I'm going to share Proto City. So I get 2 people into this location. He gets 1. He gets 1. They're going to get 2 points, the bad guys. 1, 2, and they'll take that invention into their board. So that's a shame for us. Perfect. We also get the wealth tile, which goes onto our board. Now I can put 2 wealth tiles out on the board, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this wealth tile, and that's going to gain me an influence. And I have to exhaust him to do that. And this wealth tile, and this one I can do for a cost of -2, sorry, because I have 2 green inventions. So we'll do that. I don't, no, it needs to be this one. That's okay, we'll do that. Excellent. So I can invent 2 things. I've taken military might and I've taken whatever that one is. Let's find out what that one's called. That'd be interesting. That one's name is less interesting than I thought. That one is called Advancement. So that was that tile there. That's all done. Great work. Everyone's happy with that. It's an excellent performance. Now Hephaestus is going to go for his action, and his preference is to innovate. He can't. Oh, what a legend! He's going to go here and give me another influence. You champion. And that's great. So what does he do for that action? I don't think I've ever done that action for him, ever. Move Hephaestus to the next region with at least one of his citizens. So he goes over here. He pulls him back. He then gains a progress tile, matching the idea in the invention. So that's going to be a green 4. That goes on his board. And then he gains... Yep. And then he's going to take a chain action, which will be to move around the world map. So he will move to the next region with a sage, which is here. He will take the sage and he will flip that tile. And that's all he will do. Hang on, move. Takes a progress, so that's going to be a green 5. Man, he's getting so many progress tiles already. Stop it. Stop it, you idiot. And that's it. So we've reached the end of the first full era, era 2. So we're going to go here, and this time we're going to do the full gamut of things. So he's going to gain another chain action. He's going to move 1, 2 to here and take that region points for 4 points. So they're going to 13. We're on 0 at the moment, just in case you were keeping score. And then, yes, so then that's them done. So now turn order changes, no. We lose an influence because we're in that bracket. All of my exhausted guys stand up. Both of my pillars come back. Both of his pillars come back. He's going to get 4 points for sages, taking him to 17. And I'm going to turn my 1 sage into a scholar. And then we're going to do the advancements. So sailing is taken by this guy. Oh, should say. This all slides down. And he gets a yellow guy. And then there's none remaining, so we just flip the next 4, 3 out. And we would remove ideas, but there's no ideas. And I replenish these, but I didn't spend any of these, so that's it. So now we do this guy. He's going to move to here. He's going to invent glass, which is going to gain him a brown 7. Do you already have a brown 7? No, no more brown 7s for me. Awful. Okay, so I think I want to take the influence action right now. But is there a better way to do it? And this is the game. You've always got to be thinking, how can I do these actions without doing these actions? All right, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of my economy tiles to gain one of these. I will take this one. And then I think I'm going to do a move on the world map, am I? I've got 2 chain actions. So I can chain into a Eureka, which I can take to influence. Yeah, this is interesting. All right, I'm going to do a move. So I'm going to go here. I gain a white progress tile. I will take this one. And I'm going to move this guy all the way over to here. That's going to gain me a sage, and it's going to let me flip that action. That action is a Eureka. So the Eureka, I can choose paper, crane, or Greek fire. I haven't got any ideas that I need yet, so I'm going to take Greek fire. So that puts mathematics down. And that means stone and bone tools drops off, and I get another scholar. I can have up to 4 scholars. That guy comes from... yep, a brand new guy. He's going to go here on Greek fire. And I move to the next era. So I'm going to move to the next era, which is going to be here. And I'm going to take the influence action. And I'm going to spend 2 of these guys to take this influence here, which is 4. Those guys come back as green champions. And then when I do the influence, I can then chain. And I'm going to chain by using this. I also get 1, 2 of these. Then I'm going to chain here. So this is my second chain action, because I have 2. And I am going to present an idea using the tile that I just flipped. The idea that I'm going to present is going to be writing. And I'll present writing here. And that costs me a white guy. And then, because I've presented that idea, I can automatically flip an idea which the only ones that I can flip right now, I will take the writing that I just created and flip that, which gains me a brown tile. I do want a brown tile more than I want this white tile maybe. Yep. So that's removed from the game. Okay, great turn for the good guys. Really fantastic stuff. I'm very happy with that turn. We used all of our chain actions and we took control of a zone that is important to us in the scheme of things. Zone 4. We presented and we invented an idea. Great turn. I'm now going to take steel because... yeah, we'll take steel. Oh, eyeglasses. Okay, now at the end of my turn I'm going to construct some of these. So I can construct this one. Can't construct any of those for free. This one by exhausting one little guy. And if I exhaust this little guy here, I can also gain a worker and I'll exhaust him. And then this tile costs me 3. But I can get a 2 discount there and I'll spend him like that. And then I can also do, I'm in era 4, so I can do 3. This one will cost me 1 white guy, but I want to do this one. He's going to cost me 1 white guy, and he'll go here, and I exhaust him. Okay, now I feel like we're cooking with some gas over here. So this one means I don't need to control a region, be the only person who has maximum to take influence action. This one means I get an influence action discount of 1, which is very nice. This one's going to score me points at the end of the game for every brown tile adjacent to it, so I'm going to move me brown tiles here. And this one I've already spent this turn. Okay, okay. Good turn, Deno, come on. All right, now give me another influence action, you pest. He is going to give me an influence action. Yes. Good stuff from that guy. So he's going to do a move. So he's going to move to this region. He's going to take the sage and flip that. Oh, that's a lucrative action now. I've got to take that. I've got to take that sailing. Can I do that? Send a guy to a diplomat? No. All right, I've got to take that from that. Yes, I can. Oh, it's going to be a good time to sail. Sail away, sail away, sail away. Yep. Cool. Okay, let's just rehash. This game's wild. I mean, I'm way behind in victory points, but I'm going to score points anytime my ideas get shared, and that will continue to happen. Hopefully it'll be me that does it, but we shall see. Travel. Move Hephaestus to the next region with a sage. Excellent. He takes the sage. Yeah, all right, sorry, I already did that. Yep, good point. He moves to there, takes the sage. He's going to gain a brown 6. Does he already have a brown 6? He does, so he already has a brown 7, so he's going to flip around and be a brown 1. If he tells a chain action, he does. Attempts the next action, so he's going to do this action, which is remove a diplomat from the first tile, so he's going to go there. When he removes a diplomat, he scores points, which is 2 points, so he's at 19. He then has another chain action, which is going to go on to sharing an invention. So he can only share 1 invention right now, which is the one that I have up here. So he's going to go here, I'm going to go here. I'm going to score 3 points. So I'm going to 7. He's going to take this and he's going to take this. And that is his invention now. And that's it. I can, not quite take that region now. Do I want that one, actually? That's region 6. I think I do want 6, don't I? Yes. Oh, I've got to take sailing. No, it's 10 points. Oof. Yep. Okay. It's great. This is a great turn. Great turn. Come on, Deno. All right, this idiot, he moves to here. He is going to share this idea with the world. So he's going to get this. He's going to get this. I'm going to get this. And I'm going to get 2 points for that. And he's going to take plumbing because I shared that idea. Okay, the comeback's on. Our turn. This is a hugely important turn. So if I send, this guy's here now. If I send this guy to this location, I get to send a diplomat. I get to gain an economy tile. And the diplomat that I send, oh no, it's not that one. Yeah, no, that's fine. Yep. So I send a guy from, that's return a diplomat home. So I send a guy back from the map. Ooh, this is a tough call. I think I can afford to do the influence action next turn, actually. So, yeah. I just got to take the 10 points now. Yep. Okay, that's fine. We'll take the 10 points. So, first thing we do, we're going to go here. We're going to gain a blue economy tile. I would like to take this economy tile, I think. Yeah. Yep. Then we are going to do a movement. No, we're going to return a guy from the board. So I'm going to return this guy from the board. He comes back in a green. And that's using this. And then we get to take a chain action if we have one. We have 2 chain actions. We're going to send a diplomat. So the diplomat is going to be the guy we just sent, and we're going to send him to sailing. Sailing, when we go there, that guy's not in a more advanced era than us, actually. He's in the same era as us, so he doesn't score any points. He is actually only here. Nice. I'm going to get to do that action, which is take a white tile. I will take this white tile. I've got to get this one now. Where's this one? Here. So I've got to invent cotton there. Present and invent. Okay, so then I get to move a worker after taking the white tile. I'm going to move this guy to here. I'm going to take the sage, and then I'm going to unflip all 5 of these tiles to get 10 points. I've got to take 10 points when I can. It takes me to tied with this guy. That's a huge swing. I've got to take that. Yep. And that was my second chain action from that. So that's done. So then that was my second turn. So now this guy's going to go. He is going to take an influence action. He can't because his guy's there. So he's going to invent. Hephaestus is going to move here. He can't invent. Here he can't invent. Here he can't invent. So he's going to come over here and invent cotton, which gets flipped. That's going to get him a green 3 tile. Does he already have a green 3? No, he does not. That's the last green 3. And that is his action done. Okay, so I'm moving my milestone pillar. It might be innovate time. It might be innovate time. Ooh. Okay. So if I was to innovate here on the board game, that would allow me to invent another thing. I could invent coins. Coins doesn't help me though at this point in time. So I could innovate sharing, and we all like to share, or I can't innovate on my own idea. So it's this one, which is called Specialist Home, which would let me do another move action. So I really like this game. I really like this game. How do I best play this action though? I'm getting lots of people. I want tiles. If I present, I can then immediately innovate, share my own idea, but I've already got that one. Share that idea. And that would get me the wealth tile. That one looks maybe the way to go. And I need a green for that. I can do that. Is it a waste of my chain actions? Is there a way that I can chain a share? Possibly. So this is a good turn, I think. I can only present musical innovation, musical notation at that region there. That's region 1. I do want region 1. I could present musical notation, but I can't invent it. But I could invent coins. See, there's so many there's so many possible options here that I'm trying to weigh up. So the action, I've got these 4 actions available, right? So it's present an idea, invent something, share with the world, or innovate. Now, if I was to innovate, I get to take a chain action, and if I was to innovate here, this lets me share an idea with the world. When you share, you gain a wealth tile. So I could actually innovate this location, take this wealth tile, which is a very useful one for me. I don't want to be the one to share that invention. I want one of them to innovate that one. And Kronos will do that for me because he's a good bloke eventually. So if I was to innovate and share here straight away, that would be great. What I really would like to do though is share an idea and then present. But I think I need to get that wealth tile. Yeah, I think that's a lesson I learned from the last game. I didn't have enough wealth tiles. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go here to innovate. So I have to take a silk worker. So he's going to go here. But that then gains me another worker back to that. Then you innovate using a chain action. And that's going to do this, this, this. So it's going to be 4 points for the bad guys. So they go to 23. They're also going to take this, but I'm going to take the wealth tile. Done, 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 done. That was my first chain action. I don't have any other chain actions, but now I can invent up to 3 of these. Now, if I was to place this one, I can do basically for free. because I have a discount of 1 on these. 2 on these rather. So if I was to place this here, what that then does is it gains me a discount on the next placement of two tiles. So this one, if I was to place here, that would cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, and I could spend this, and this is my last action of the round, so that would be a 0 cost, and I can still place out a third one, which could be this guy, or it could also be this guy. And if I place this guy here, I just need to exhaust 3 workers. Actually, if I place him here, I don't need to exhaust my scholar. And then I've got an opportunity to put another white one there. So because of this, I can actually place out a 4th tile. This one, there's nowhere I can put it that I can afford. So that's it. We're done. Cool. So if this guy, if I place a white here, this is going to be worth 12 points from contiguous. And if I place a couple of browns here, that's going to be worth 12 points for contiguous. So it'd just be good to get this one as well. Okay, cool turn for the good guys. Let's go for the last chump. Give me another influence chump. Okay, so he can't do that. He can't Eureka. He's going to call diplomats. So, oh, where was this guy going? Inventing. Yep, cool. So this is going to go down here. So he's going to return diplomats. Is that right? That action is called call diplomat. Remove his diplomat from the first milestone. It's that one. He's going to score 3 points for that. 1, 2, 3. And that's it. Doesn't chain for that action. Okay. Alright, I feel like that was a pretty good round. Let's see. Let's see what happens. So, the first thing that happens, this goes here. Hephaestus is going to move to the next region, which is this one, and he's going to score 6 points. Oh, what a pest. 32. Then, turn order hasn't changed. I'm going to lose an influence. All of my guys come back. We're going to return our 2 pillars. He's going to get 2 points for this sage, and I'm going to get 4. I'm going to get no points, but I'm going to get 2 scholars out of that. So that's that. And then we're going to do the Eureka tiles. So the first thing that happens is this guy, he always replenishes. So that's going to gain me another scholar. And this middle one is also going to go like so. So he gains that. That's it. We're going to bring E tiles out now. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3 ideas are now discarded, including the 3 ideas that I have in my hand. These slide across, and I now replenish. I have invented a white, so I'll take printing press, which requires paper, which I don't have. Eyeglasses, mathematics, which I do have. Okay. I've got Greek fire. Doesn't really help me. So I need to invent some of these inventions. So that's it. Done. Alright, so Hephaestus, Kronos, he's going to move to here and he's going to present an idea. The idea he's presenting is this caravel. These slide across. When he presents an idea, he puts out his workers. He's going to put 2 little workers there. And that's all he gets. He gets no other reward. About 5 minutes ago, we were tied on points. I was 19 and he was 19. Now he's 32. No, 34. Awful. All right, but this is going to be a good turn, I think. Present. So I have 2 chain actions. All right, I need to take control. Present, invent. Yeah, present, invent. And how can I present in a different way? I can move on the map. Ooh, that's the other thing that happens. My little economy tiles come back. So when that happens, oh, that one stays there. I can do this one to gain a white or an economy tile. And I will take this economy tile, which is to place a guy out on the map. We made plans to kiss the sun at night. Chain, present, gain influence. Is there a way for me to chain into doing a world map move? There is, yes, if I take this action. 1 chain, 2 chain. Okay, this is going to be a really big baller turn from the big dog. We go here. So this action is returning a guy from the board to my board. I also gain a green tile, and I will take this green tile to allow me to swap stuff. I didn't value that before, but I think I do value that now. Okay, great. Then that action allows me to take a chain action on my board. My first chain action will be to move. So I'm going to move this guy here, down to here. That takes the sage off the board, and I will flip this to allow me to present an idea. The first idea that I will present is eyeglasses. That costs me a little brown guy, but I'm actually going to send one of them. And that allows me to present another idea, and I'll present the printing press, which is here. And that gains me an influence. When I present an idea, I can spend an influence and use this one-off action to immediately invent it. And I will immediately invent the eyeglasses because I have mathematics. When I invent, I gain a brown tile, and I also gain a white tile for moving. So I'm going to take that. The brown tile that I'm going to take is when you invent, you can immediately share. No, that one's gone. All right, when you move on the world map, you can share. Done. And then, on my turn, I'm going to place some of these out. So, this one doesn't help me right now, but if I was to place this here, it would cost me 3 workers. But I can spend this to make it cost me just 1. Then this one, I get a discount of 2. So if I was to place this one here, it only costs me 1, and I also gain 1 here. And then if I was to place this brown, that would cost me 2. But I could spend both of those. Yeah. Or instead, I think I might do that, and that just gives me a little bit better flexibility. And then this one, I also get a discount of 2 of. So this would cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But it gets me a scholar. Oh, if I go here, it just gets me that tile. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't really want to spend all my guys, but... Yep, I'm going to do that. Spending all my guys. But this tile will now let me put out a guy on the map. So that was a sick turn. Now, I was able to do that using 2 chain actions. The first was moving on the world map, and the second was flipping this. Done. Okay, this guy. What's he doing? He's going to innovate. You champion. You champion. Give me that influence, you champion. All right, which space does he want to innovate on? So he's here. He's going to come and innovate up here on my board. You good friend. You good friend, you. So when he innovates, does he get any reward from that? I think he doesn't, because he just gets a chain action. Yep, so he's going to chain action to invent, and he'll move across to here, and he's going to invent his own coins. And that will gain him a 5 green, unless he already has a 5 green, which he does, so he'll take a 6 green, which he doesn't have. Excellent, and that is his last chain action. He doesn't do anything else. Hephaestus, you champion. Kronos, he'll move to here. He can't do anything there at all. He'll move to here. He has to innovate, which is all he does there. Fine. So now I'm onto this space. So this is a pillar. Now if I invent my own paper, that'd be great. Can I do that? I can share an invention. Alright, so over here on this tile, I'm going to spend this to immediately gain a guy out on the board, which is going to be on that space there. So now, actually if I go zone 1, because I'm about to have more guys there, yep, so zone 1, so I can take that influence action, yes. Alright, so we want to do that action there. How do I do that action? I've got 2 chain actions. Lets me move, gets me a sage. It's not the worst plan. Okay, gain a white tile. I think the only white tile I've got left is 2. I don't even know what that does. I can return as many specialists as I want from the world map. 1, 2, 4, 5, 3, 6, 7. Yep. Alright, so 2 goes there. I'm going to move this guy across to this space here. We're going to use our first chain action to flip this and take this action. And that allows me to send a diplomat. I'm going to take this guy as my only guy left, and I'm going to send him to Greek Fire. When you send a diplomat, you get to take the action. The action that I'm going to take is this. Yep, that's all good. And so sending a diplomat, perfect. So that's going to let me take this influence action. I'm going to influence here. That's going to get me 2 white scholars. And I'm going to take control of that region using this one. That's going to gain me 1, 2 influence. And I can now flip that to invent, and that's going to give me 6 influence. So I'm at 25, and I can invent the paper that I just came up with. No, I can't, because you need paper. No! Alright, is there any other things I can invent? The Cavalier sailing doesn't help me. I can't present an idea. I need paper. Oh man, that's awful, Deno. You are awful at this game. Oh, let me think. I don't need to do the influence action right now. I could go to paper, but that's present an idea, which is of absolutely 0 value. All right, let's do a little bit of rejigging. So we're going to go back to 19. This is going to come back to my board. These two guys are going to go back to here. This is going to get flipped. This sage is going to go here. And this is going to come back. Not that one, sorry. This one. Yes. So that guy's going to go there. And we're getting this guy back from here. Alright, let's try again. So if I was to do that move action, I can also present an idea. The move action could be a Eureka. The Eureka could then be another move, which I could chain into a second time, or it could be another sharing of an idea. So that one, so if we Eureka, moving into age 5, am I supposed to score points when I do a Eureka action? If I'm supposed to score points, that's probably one of the reasons. No, I'm not. Damn. So yeah, I go here, I can share an idea. When I share an idea, I can chain into a free move. That move, I would not have any other chain actions left. But I could just share an idea and then chain into a move and then chain into a Eureka. Yeah, that seems not too bad. So let's do that. So which idea am I going to share? So if I share board games, I will score 4 points and I will gain this gold tile. If I share, I've already got that one, so there's no value in that. I don't have that one. Okay, interesting. That one might be the go. But board games would be good too. No one can share that one. So I'm going to share this one. I'm going to share board games. So these two guys are going here, and I'm going to score 4 points from that, taking me to 23. This guy's going to go here. This board game's going to go into their stack. I'm going to gain this tile. Now my first chain action, because I shared, I'm going to take a move action. Cost me an influence. The move action that I'm going to take is move this guy to here, and I'm going to take a Eureka with my chain action. So my chain action will be to Eureka. So the Eureka, which one do I want to take? They're all rubbish, I think. I might just take electricity. So electricity becomes one of my things. I get a worker that goes on electricity. I now get to move to the next era. So I am going to do that one, which is this action. No, I can't change, so I'm just going to share another idea. I'll share my own idea, I think. He was supposed to move across. He always does that. Yep, so the idea that I'll share will be my own. So that's going to be 1 times 4. No, that's going to let him present. So maybe I'll do this one. That's zone 4. I've already got control of that one. This one gets me 3 guys and I can take that zone. Yeah. No, I'll do this one. I'll do writing. Oh, I want that though. I want that one. No, I don't have to worry about that one. So I'm going to do writing. So first of all, I'm going to get the writing. Both of these guys are going to go here. I'm going to score 3 points. 1, 2, 3. The writing comes over on this side of the board. He's going to get 2 guys into that location. And then I can take that tile or a wild aspiration tile. And I will take a wild aspiration tile because I already have that goal tile. Oh, I really want this one. I've got to innovate there next, I think. Yeah, so maybe I go there for paper. That lets me present an idea. Yeah, that's not too bad now. I don't mind that. Yeah, okay, that's actually pretty good. I like that a lot. Yep. Yep. So I've got the brown. I just need to get another brown invention. Okay, well I guess we're going for windmill. Oh, high density battery, if you don't mind. Yeah, so I'm going to take one of these. It's going to be anytime you present an idea, you can invent it. Excellent. I'm not going to install any of those tiles. That's the end of my turn. Long turn. This guy goes. He's going to present an idea. He's going to present it here, which actually sucks because I hate him. I hate him a lot, but it's okay. Present an idea. The idea he presents is a suspension bridge. Boop, boop. And that's it for his turn. Kronos, he's going to go here. He's going to innovate on that idea. Well done, Kronos, you doofus. All right, it's my turn. It's my last turn of this age. So I think I'm going to send a diplomat. To paper. And paper's going to let me present an idea. Oh, but I can't because I don't have any workers. No, I do because I get to return. No, I send a guy to that. Damn. All right, so instead, where was I? Was I on Innovate? I think I was on Innovate. Oh, man, this is a bad thing. All right, so do I move instead? When I move, can't do anything there. Oh, this is so depressing. I just have so many things I want to do. Gosh. So I can't Eureka because I'm already in this current age. So that's fine. I'm pretty sure I was there. I've got 2 chain actions. This action would be great. So if I go here, I could go here, Then I could chain, and then I could go here. That could work. But then I don't have the guy to present the idea. Do I have the guy that lets me bring back? No, I need to put that out last turn. I could have put that out last turn. Okay, we're going to put that out last turn. That might have just saved my bacon. Let's see if that's the case. This is going to be a wild turn. That cost me an influence to put that out. Let's see if we can make this work. I'm going to go to this action here, which is return diplomats. No, is that return diplomats? No, it needs to be this one, doesn't it? It does, it needs to be call a diplomat back as a scholar. Oh, hang on. Okay, maybe that'll work. Maybe that'll work. Take the milestone action, do a move. The move lets me chain. The chain could be send a diplomat. Oh, I just want to put a guy out on the board. Okay, I think we reassess our goal here. I think I want to take the 6 victory points. So maybe I'm just moving. Maybe I'm just moving. I really want to innovate, but there's no easy way to innovate. This is a great game, but it is not for the faint of heart. There's no innovate on the board. I don't have a free innovate because I haven't played this tile yet. So I'm not going to be able to play all my tiles this round, so that's fine. I do have mathematics, I just don't have access to paper. If I don't invent paper this turn, I reckon this idiot's going to invent paper. Kronos is going to move to there. He's going to take control of that, and then he's going to move to there and he's going to invent paper before I can. And I really need to invent paper. So the issue is a matter of workers. I just don't have enough. I just don't have enough. I just don't have enough. I did that, yep. What I want to take is this action here. I can take that action. I just give him points. No. I want to take this action here. I can't take that action because my guy's on it. But I could take it there. All right. We may have a plan. We may have a plan. Let's try. I'm going here and I'm going to go to the crane. Oh, I need a guy. Yeah, so we can't do that. My plan doesn't work unless I can do that. All right, we're just moving on the world map. We're just moving on the world map. That's the only thing I can do. So we'll move on the world map. We'll go here. This guy will go here. We'll take the influence action, which gains a sage. These two guys will come back as white people, which is going to be here. I'm going to take control of that with this one, which gets me 6 victory points. I go to 32, and then I'm going to move up 2 influence, and then I'm going to flip that to do an invent. I'm going to invent paper. I can't invent paper because I don't have paper. Great stuff. Okay, well, I don't want to do that. So I guess I don't want to do that. That's a waste. So we'll just take the 6 because I can't invent. I could invent caravels. Yep, all right, let's invent caravels because I do have sailing. No, I can't invent caravels either because I don't have any green workers. Okay, so that's pretty much all I can do. Yep. Okay, that's it. That's unfortunate. Wes, I got to tell you, mate, this game has so much depth. It could be too much. I think I love it. I think I genuinely love it. But I'm going to need to play this another 5 times before I think I've got a handle on what I'm trying to do on any turn, on any given moment. It's crazy. So I've got 1 and 2 and 4. I need to control here. So when that gets shared, that's fine. Yeah, it's a really good game, but gosh, it's tricky. It's tricky. Yeah, he's gonna get me. Oh, I hate that. I hate it. He's gonna invent the paper from underneath me. Okay. He's gonna share. So this guy has moved to here, can't share, moved to here, can't share, moved to here, can share. This guy comes here, this guy comes here. He gets 2 workers in that spot. This is going to score him 3 points. 1, 2, 3. And that's the end of that. Sharing doesn't get him a thing, but it does get him this tile, wealth tile. And that's it. So that's the end of the era. So we're going to do a 3rd chain action there. He's going to move to here and he's going to place this out. Oh, I hate that so much. Great, and then we're going to move to this era here. Turn order doesn't change. I'm going to lose 1 influence there. All of my guys come back. I needed this 1 turn ago. All of my little economy tiles come back. I tried to learn this about 3 times and I really struggled. And I'll say something possibly a little bit arrogant. I don't generally struggle in learning games. And this one has absolutely busted my chops for multiple times. But I think I've got it now. 1, 2, 3, I think. So that gets me 3 scholars. Ideas. So we've just moved into era 5, so all of the level 4 ideas go away. And we now only have level 5, including television. So television needs to be telegraph. Okay, so he's going to take crane, and he's going to place that here. Or vaccination, rather. And then he's going to take internal combustion, which is going to dislodge paper down like that. And then last of all, this one goes into the regular display. Sailing niffs off. We get another scholar. And I now have access to telegraph, which will give me this one. And that's pretty good. So now I just got to present and invent and share. I need one white and I need one brown invention. I'm a chance. I'm the slimmest of chances, actually. But we're a chance. Okay, we move into, we've got 3 turns left. Oh, and these guys come back. Oh, where was his last one? I don't remember. What did he do? He shared. So he was there. Okay, good. That may have got me an influence. Okay, come on, Deno. Get it together, son. I need to take control of this region. Yeah, that's these brown ones. I think they're quite pivotal, actually. I think they're quite pivotal. So I want to innovate right now, and that will let me take a chain action, which could be that one. Paper. I've got 2 chain actions. Let me see if I can figure this out. So I innovate glass. Does glass help me? No. But that does let me go here, which lets me chain. I could do that, and I could then do telegraph, which would let me present that and take that tile. Just can't get enough. Just can't get enough. I need to play. Okay, so let's look at my gold tiles actually. Let's see which gold tiles I'm a chance of getting. So this one here, I need to have influence in zones 1, 2, 4, and 6. I currently have zones 1, 2, and 4. So if I can control zone 6, that will get me 10 points. This one is have guys in zones 2, 4, 5, and 6. That one we can probably make happen, but we don't have it at the moment. This one is have majority in zone 2, 4, 5, or 7. So I currently have majority in zone 4. Don't have anything else. This one, so it'd be nice to get these. I need to have 2 inventions from each colour. Right now, I have a brown invention that's just waiting to be shared. I have a white invention. Yeah. So the likelihood that I can get another white and another brown is pretty minimal, maybe. Pretty minimal, maybe. So I can control a zone right now, and I can place out a tile, and I want to do a swap. I want to do a tile swap. So if I was to go here and send a diplomat to one of these, I could send it to paper. I could then invent up there, which would allow me to invent television that I just place out on the board straight away. When I invent, I then take a brown tile, which would allow me to take the other tile that I want, which is when you invent, you can present. Do I already have that? I already have that. Okay, so 5 I already have. Yeah, so the only other one I want probably is 3. Okay, so that's fine. So if I do that by moving, that could also work. And that'll get me a white economy tile, which doesn't help me because I've already maxed out those. I assume I can take those. Or I move to that location and I share an invention, which lets me do that, and it gains me the wealth tile there, and that wealth tile would be quite good. And then sharing an invention. Moving doesn't get me anything that I need though. Okay, so maybe I'm better off going for my original plan, which is going to paper. Okay, let's do this. My first action, which has taken me about 10 minutes. I'm going to go there. I'm going to take one of these. That will just be this tile here. Perfect. As a result, I send one of my guys from the world, which will be one of these guys, back to my board. That will be a green guy. I can then do a chain action. The chain action, the first one, will be here, which is send a diplomat. I'll send a green guy to paper. Paper will allow me to present an idea, and I will present the television, and I'm going to present television up here, and I'm going to send 2 scholars to do that, or 1 scholar rather. So that's going to allow me to then do an invention. I'm going to immediately invent television, and that flips television over. Okay, so we just need to share that now. Someone needs to share that. I need to share that. When you invent, you get to take a brown tile. I'm going to take this brown tile, and that is it. I don't get any more chain actions, but that's fine. And yes, so now I'm going to place tiles out on the board. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place this brown tile here. Okay, so if I place this gold tile here, it's going to cost me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because it's a gold tile. So I'll spend this here to make it 5, and I'll use these clowns. Done. Then I will use this action to flip this and this location. So that now has 5 white tiles adjacent to it, which is great. Then, that was this one, sorry. Then, if I place this brown one here, that is a contiguous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have no browns, so I can't do that. So what I'll do is I'll spend these 2, and it means I do that, using that instead. Yeah. Okay, so that's good points, right? So I'm getting 15 points from that, I'm getting 9 points from that, and this is 3 for every 2 inventions that I've got. That's probably the best I can get. This, I'd love to play these, but that's just not going to happen. When I placed that tile down, I did get another scholar though. Alright. That's tricky stuff. Tricky stuff. So that's it. Alright, Hephaestus, he's going to invent. What can he invent? Where is he? No. Yes, he's going to invent the crane. Good on you, Hephaestus. Sorry, the suspension bridge. When he does that, he's going to take a green 2. I think he has a green 2 available. Yep. And that's it. He doesn't chain on that. This guy's going to move across to here. He's only going to be able to innovate there, so that's fine. He doesn't get any other reward for innovating. All right, our second to last action. But now we have, when you invent, you can do a move. And we do need to do a move. No, we want to do that one. Not that one. Yeah, when you innovate, you can present. How many chain actions have I got? Okay, I'm going to innovate here, I think. So let's just do that. We're going to innovate to this spot. Cool. So that is bring a person back from the map. It's going to green tile. I was going this green tile. Then it's bring a person back from the map. We'll take this guy back and put him into the green spot. And then you can do a chain action. So once again, I'm going to chain making a friend. So the chain making a friend, I'm going to send this guy to paper again. Paper again. No, hang on a second. I'm going to do my first chain action, which is going to be when you innovate, you can present an idea. And I will present an idea, and that will be there. Excellent. So, the idea I'm going to present is the steamboat. No, the high density battery, because I need a brown. Come on, Deno. So present, that's my scholar. That allows me to share an idea. I'm going to share this. So that gets me a brown eyeglasses. I get 2 guys here. He gets 2 guys there. And that's going to score me 4 points. So I'm going to go to 36. And then I take the chain action, which is going to be a control there. So that's my second chain action to take influence of that location. No, I don't want to do that. I think I want to present instead. Actually, what can I do? I could share another idea. Yeah, I'm going to share another idea. I'm going to share television. That's going to get me 5 points. Television. So I share and I take that one. And then I share and I can take another one of those. I won't take any of those. That's fine. I'm not going to be able to play that. I'm not going to be able to play any of those. But I did score more points, which is good. And I'm set up to do this action somehow. Probably just going here and doing Greek fire and taking that. And that then lets me chain into one of these, which could be to innovate, or it could be to share that idea actually. Printing press, yep. Cool. Okay, I think we're pretty much done now. Oh, I can place out a guy. Let's place out a guy. That's the only thing that's going to get me value now. So we don't need to have zone control. I guess we try for that next one. So I need to have a person in 2. No, I need to have a person in 4. Yes, I need to have a person in 5. Yes, and I need to have a person in 7. So if we go 2 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 7. Because I only need 4 for that. Yeah. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Let's Marvin Gaye and get it on. Yeah, we've done pretty good in this game. I don't know if we've won, but I think we've done okay. We've definitely done better than I did in the last one. I don't have enough workers to do anything else. And this last influence action will get me up into the top bracket of influence. He's going to do an influence action. He can do an influence action. Oh, and his first one was an invent. So Hephaestus moves to here and he puts an influence marker out, which goes there, which scores him 4 points to go to that. When he does that, does he get anything else? I think he also gets a token. Gain influence, bring 1 citizen back, so he does that. Yep, and he scored the points. Then he'll try and do a chain action, which is to invent. So he's going to move here, 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 and he's going, no, here, here. So he's going to invent the caravel, which will get him a blue 3. That's empty, 4's empty, 5. Does he have a blue 5? He might already have that. He does. So he can't take a blue 6. He'll take a blue 7. No chaining on that. The last action for Kronos of the game. Kronos moves to here and shares this idea. That is a real scumbag move because it's 8 points. 49. Man, that's just awful. That is just out and out awful. 8 points. All right. What an idiot. Okay. Well. So, is there any way for me to share an idea and gain an influence right now? I believe there is. So what I need to be able to do is invent this idea and also share this idea and also influence on that. So sharing the idea and inventing the idea I can't do. So no. So I'm not going to be able to get my last point there. So sharing this one gets me 4 points. I could innovate on that one. Innovating would let me already got those. Yep. I'm confused, but that's not unusual. So I can't go in either of those locations. Oh, a Eureka action. Ooh, all right. Let's think about Eureka. There is no Eureka over there. There is no Eureka on the board. There is no Eureka on the Innovate actions. So Eureka is off the table, isn't it? I don't think there's any way for me to do a Eureka. No. Alright, so all we do is we go to this diplomat one. Or we return a diplomat, which allows us to take the action. Yep, and the action can be an innovate. Yep, okay, so this is the plan. We're gonna go here, return a diplomat. Actually, that gets him a point. If we go here, it's basically the same thing. This guy is gonna let us take an influence action. Excellent, so the influence action is gonna be here. So we're going to pull all three of these back. They'll go into green. And we get to place this action out here. Sorry, they'll go into white. Take that influence action there. That's going to score me 3 points. 1, 2, 3. I get 1, 2, 3 influence. I can spend this now to do an innovate, or I can spend this to do an invent. If I innovate here on glass, okay, those go there. If I innovate on glass, I'll send this guy here to glass. That's my first chain action. I have 2. That's going to let me do this action here, which gets me an economy tile, which I don't need. It then lets me pull a worker back from here and go back into any space. Does it go? Yep, any space that matches that. So that's that. And then I get to take a action on my board, which can be to share. I'm not going to get this though. Oh, that's so annoying. But I could get that economy tile, which I cannot place out because I just don't have the peeps. But I could place out another brown one actually. Yep, that could work. And if I share, I don't get any points, but if I share this one, I'd get points. Get that one. Yeah, I can do any chain action. So I could move, and I could chain into another diplomat, and that could let me invent, which I could invent that, but I can't share that invention, and no one else will be able to share that invention. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame, what a terrible shame. I can do a double move. Does that help? Not really. Yeah, so I can share, I can move, I can invent, or I can do another handshake. And the other handshake is not much use to me. It's just the same deals, invent, yeah. Possibly I could share glass. That's going to get me that tile. Yeah, it doesn't help me. I can't do anything with that tile. So let's do another handshake and let's... Sure, we'll just invent Highland battery. It doesn't help me, I don't think. I need electricity, which I have. So that flips, but it doesn't help me. unless you get to bring those ones back onto your board, which I don't think you do, but we'll check that. If it does, that's great. I've just successfully done a great thing. And that was using that chain action. When you invent, you get a brown tile, doesn't matter. I can place out a brown tile. Not quite anymore because I use my workers. But I can place out one of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. No, can't place out any. Done. That was my last turn. Kronos, what are you doing? He's going to present an idea. That's a really nice way for you to finish the game, Kronos. I like that, or Hephaestus rather. He goes to here and he puts this idea out, which is the automobile, and that's it. Let's work out at the end of the game if stuff that was invented gets put back onto the as stuff, or does it need to be shared? I'm hopeful. I don't think so. Score IP, score each wealth tile, score any 2 private goals. In case of a tie, the tie player with the most tiles on their progress map wins the tie. Yeah, you don't get those over to your board unless they're shared. So, yeah, in that case, I'm better off not inventing, actually. I'm actually better off placing out this tile like that and moving this guy to here. And this guy to here. So I've got 2, 4, 5, 6 doesn't help me. No, 2, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, 2, 4, 5, 6. Great. Whoa, that's actually going to work out well. I'll get that second card. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's the end of the game. So Kronos moves to here, and we do endgame scoring. So I'm going to score 10 points for being there on the influence track. So that's 54. You then score your wealth tiles on your board. So this wealth tile is going to get me 12 points. 66. This wealth tile is going to get me 15 points, which takes me to 81. This wealth tile is going to get me 6 points to take me to 87. That's all my wealth tiles. Then my goal tiles, so I will take this one and I will take this one. So that's going to score me 6 and 10, 16 to go to 103. Now, that's my best score, definitely, so that's good. There's a possibility that I could have chained into that in the last turn, but I don't think it helps at all. There was a possibility that I could have got this one, and that one would have been fucking 15 points as well, but no, that's fine. Okay, so Hephaestus, his endgame scoring, and Buffhead, this will be close, I think. Endgame. Each invention scores them 3, each progress tile scores 3, and each wealth tile scores 2, 2, and 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's 18. So we'll go 20, that's 69, minus 2, 67. Each of these tiles is worth 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 26. So 6, 20, 93. And then these 3 tiles are worth 3 points each, which is 9, which is 102. Get out of here, you idiot. Yes. We did it by 1 point. That's the best. Okay, I don't know how to score more. Like, I don't know how to score like 110 plus. You really need to be absolutely efficient with every single action that you do. And that seems great, but challenging. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Thanks, Milo. So yeah, I think probably number one observation, I let 4 points go here because I just couldn't get that next invention. Observation number two, I didn't place out all my tiles. And to me, that's a mistake. Like this, if this tile's out on the board, that's another 9 points. Or if this tile's out on the board, that's 15 points. So I think you probably need to have 4 goal tiles out on the board to get a really good score. And yeah, you need these actions in the late game to invent and then present and then invent, present. The trickiest part, if you just go around inventing stuff, you get the card, but the card doesn't get you points. You need to be both presenting and inventing at the same time, which makes this one right here a very valuable presenting space, particularly in solo. So if I go there and present, I can immediately invent the thing that I've just presented, which gets me both points and the card. And that's really important during the game. Yep. Yeah, it is really good. That one's my first pick every single game, which is a problem. It's that obvious to pick that one. But you get, I mean, that's 5 turns of you just getting a free tile. And part of the tile economy is the sooner you can fill this up, the more efficient it is. So this just leans into that. Every era, you go, great, I go there, I get an extra tile, which makes it more efficient to put tiles out on the board. So I just think that one's almost borderline the first pick that you go for with your economy tile every time. I really rate the white tiles. I tried to be a bit different this time. Like I tried to go for this influence one, which was military. You don't need to have the most military. I normally go for this one, which is you only need to have 1 less for putting out your tiles. But in previous games, I went for the ones that let you put out tiles for cheaper earlier on, and I felt that was a worthwhile investment as well. I'm really impressed with this tile swapping one. It just means you can get these in the exact spot that you need them to get the most points. So that's one that that one's one I'm valuing a little bit more. And yeah, this one's probably okay, just placing out a guy on the board. Probably would have been better off with get a scholar instead, because I was hamstrung by people a number of times there. So yeah, get a scholar might have been better. I'm really keen to try this multiplayer. Have you played it, Mark or Milo? Have you played it multiplayer? How does it play? I assume it would really require you to have people that are invested in the game. So yeah, because I mean it's taken me 4 plays to get to a respectable result. I think my best score before was 101 and the bot scored 100 or 99, but I didn't do that on camera. Actually, I've got my phone. I'll check that score. I need to put this one into the app anyway. Wow, 117 is a good score. I need to add all of my Oathsworn plays into this. What an experience. Inventions, evolution of ideas, home against the Automa. Yeah, there you go. My best score is actually 106. So not 103, but 103 plays 102. That's a good win. Yeah, my insights on this game. Four plays. Yeah, so the Automa's average is 105, so it generally scores 105. Yeah, between 100 and 110. So I've scored okay. Yeah. I play with a really cool group on a Tuesday night. There's 5 of us, and one of them hates Euros. So anytime that guy can't make it, we play a Euro, 4-player Euro. And I reckon that the other guys would absolutely love this game if we could get over the hurdle. And I really think, correct me if I'm wrong, Wes, when you have someone teaching you this game, it's probably easier to understand what you're trying to do. I just kept reading the rule book and felt like I was bashing my head into a wall because I just didn't understand like the core loop of the game and what you were trying to do. There's only 10 actions. And Milo, it's a really cool game because you're not overwhelmed with what do the actions do. You know, you're not like trying to pick from 50 different actions to do something. You've just got 10 actions, and in any given moment, yep, there is a great player aid. It's right here. Sorry, not that one. Yeah, this player aid is the key. And as I said, there's only 10 actions, and your pillars prevent you from placing in some of those actions. So at any given moment, there's actually only 4 or 6 actions that you can choose. So you have just this tiny little decision space of 4 to 6 actions, but because of how those actions flow into other actions, and I think I said this at the start of the video, if you just go here, cool, I present an idea, bang, present an idea, you're done. But if you go here, you get an economy tile. You then get to bring a worker back from the board and put him in one of your spaces, and then you get to take a chain action. That chain action is going to be to send a diplomat. I'm going to take one of my guys and send him as a diplomat to here, to paper, and then that allows me to present steamboat. And so you just have one action that then lets you do 3 actions, which culminates in this one. And that's the thing that took me a while to figure out. The first time I played, I was like, okay, well, I want to present an idea, so I go here to present an idea. But then you get to the end of it, and the end of the game, and you're like, okay, I need to go here to do this, to do this, to do this, and then present the idea. And that will let me present a second idea, and then I'll do that. So, yeah. Yes, exactly, Wes. So I'd really like to play that 3 or 4 players, and we'll see if I get around to doing that. That may or may not happen tomorrow night. One thing I will say is that the guys I play with, they picked up Speakeasy and just ran with it, had no problems. And I don't think this is more complex than Speakeasy. Where I think this is more challenging is, as we just said, that getting to the end result of what you want to do is usually done in a slightly oblique way, which is nice. Cool game. I'm so glad I pulled that back out. Did you see I just finished an Oathsworn campaign, Wes? I was on holidays for a week and I just played through 21 campaign matches of Oathsworn. Absolutely the sickest. It was so good. All right. Well, I'm not back tomorrow night's Tuesday night with games, so I won't be back tomorrow night. Wednesday night's touch footy, so I won't be back Wednesday night. Thursday, I've unfortunately got a work meeting. I might be back to play some games in time, depends on what time the work meeting finishes. But Friday, we're on. We're on for games on Friday. So the question is, what do we want to play? Do I try and learn Men Nefer? Any of you friends played this one, Men Nefer? This is made by the same guy who makes Covenant, or designed, I should say, German P. Milan. And Covenant was excellent. And a lot of people rate this one higher than Covenant. I'm not sure. I really like the theme of Covenant. This is about ancient Egypt. You float down the River Nile on boats. So we might try this. Or do I just have this, leave this out and try and get even higher, a higher score? I am tempted by that. Trying this one more time. We'll see. I've got plenty of time to decide. All right. Thank you, friends. I hope you all have a wonderful week. Enjoy. It was my first day back at work today. That was a bit tough after 3 weeks off and Crimson Brush and all of the fun that comes with it. So yeah, first day back at work. It was not too bad. Into it again tomorrow. All right. Thank you all. Have a